This is the dream. This is the dream.
This is not your
Guys
dream.
like me work their whole lives to be in something that's successful, that people like.
Since when do
Just
you
'cause I don't
care
enjoy
about
it doesn't
being
matter.
liked?
This scene from La La Land felt too real. For context, we are at the climax of the movie, Seb and Mia's first ever big fight, and the conversation has moved to the topic of Seb's career. But it feels like they're talking about two different things. Mia's asking him why he's giving up on his dream of owning a jazz club, and Seb keeps dodging the questions. None of them seem to hear each other, and it feels awfully familiar, natural even. And it made me ask, how can we understand people? How can we connect when some conversations end up feeling like you're talking to a brick wall, and other times it's like this.
You tell me why you're not going.
Because
Why?
I've been to a million auditions, and the same thing happens every time.
Everything's clear. They're on the topic of Mia's refusal to audition, but compared to the earlier argument, this one seems too simple, despite the fact that it could have been an even bigger dispute with the roles reversed, with Seb questioning Mia's decision and her dodging the question or escalating, but she didn't. Other variables aside, she had all the reasons to stop chasing her dream. But despite that, she decides to try one more time, got the role, and won an Oscar. So what was different? Why did one discussion feel so obscure while this one felt so clear? What is the secret behind clarity? Well, I found out that it has something to do with the kind of conversations we're having. This book by this guy says that research pointed out that during a discussion, multiple conversations can actually be taking place. If you think about a discussion like a house, then a conversation would be its different rooms. There's practical, which involves problem solving, emotional, where we talk about how we feel, and social, where the main focus is who we are to ourselves and to other people. And when you feel like you're talking to a brick wall, it's most likely because you're in different conversations. Going back to the dinner scene, we can actually see what conversations these two were having. On the discussion of Seb's career, Mia asks why Seb is giving up on his dream. She wants to know how he feels, which means she wants an emotional conversation. But Seb deflects and asks if she likes the music he plays. How, for guys like him, what he's doing now is the dream. And if you add the subtext telling us that he's doing it because he loves her, we can tell that Seb is concerned about his ability to provide for her and who he believes he has to be in her life. He's in a social conversation. But connection can only happen when you're in the same room with the other person, when you match what they want to talk about. So how do you do that? What does it take to build a connection? Well, it takes two things. First, you have to figure out exactly what kind of conversation you're having by asking what's known as a deep question. Like, instead of asking, when did you decide to give up on your dream, you can ask,
why?
And it's this open-ended question that makes people think about their values or experiences, and their response can reveal what they truly want to talk about. And asking at the start means that moving forward, you'll know where to meet them, whether the right decision is to offer a solution, talk about feelings, or explore how they see themselves. But once you've figured it out, once you've understood their piece, how do you get them to understand yours? How can both sides achieve clarity? What you need is vulnerability. When the other person pours their heart out and lays all their emotions on the floor, the best thing you can do is match that and talk about your own feelings. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. It's the feeling that counts. If your girlfriend expresses how she feels uncomfortable when there's a lot of people around and you want to help her feel less of that, but you're aware that she wants an emotional conversation, maybe talk about the time you had to pee and how the other dudes in the bathroom ignored the unspoken rule of urinal spacing and how that made you feel uncomfortable as well. Because matching other people's conversations, sharing this sense of vulnerability, lets them know that you care and that whatever you say next takes into account how they feel, which means that meeting them in that room can make them more likely to go with you to the next one. And it's why the scene works so well.
Why?
Why what?
Why don't you want to do it anymore?
Because I think it hurts a little bit too much.
You're a baby.
Okay, admittedly, there's a lot more to conversations than meets the eye. But this still proves how deep questions combined with vulnerability paves the way for clarity. And honestly, this kind of feels like the other half of the dinner scene, because it was there where Seb showed a deeper part of himself to Mia, a part of him that wanted to feel adequate. And maybe because of that experience, Mia is now expressing the part of her that she feels isn't enough. So when Seb matched her emotional conversation, encouraging her to talk more about how she feels, transitioning to a practical one with the audition at stake felt earned. And ultimately, Mia decides to try one more time. It's through these conversations that not only do they get to understand each other on a deeper level, but also make decisions that feel right for each other. And I badly want to say that maybe they could have ended up together, but that isn't the kind of conversation we're having. Being aware of the kind of conversations you're stepping into is a helpful guide. But at the end of the day, this is just one piece of a very complicated puzzle when it comes to connecting with others. But the most crucial thing to remember is that understanding starts with a genuine desire to connect. No matter how many doors people open, it's up to you to take the step forward. But once you choose to engage, to listen, to step into a room with them, then you might just find yourself wanting to stay a little longer.